2023 has been a great year for couch party games. We've had Manic Mechanics, Gigabash, and Jackbox Party, just to name a few. Sometimes there's nothing better than having a couple of friends over for plenty of laughs and plenty of games. 2023 isn't quite over, at the time of writing this article anyway, so I figured it was okay to make way for Makeway, a 4-player racing game in the vein of Micro Machines, but with a really unique and interesting twist. What's it like? Grab some friends, open up a can of Pringles, and let's get ready to rumble as we review Makeway. While you're fastening your seatbelt, would you kindly like and subscribe? It helps creators like me get found on YouTube, and I can't thank you enough for doing it. Makeway is a 4-player isometric racer from the dev team Icebeam and published by Secret Mode. The twist? The game has no pre-made courses, and it's up to each player to place a piece of track at the start of each round for them to duke it out, add more, rinse, and repeat. This method of creating tracks makes every game unique and interesting, as well as adding plenty of challenges and frustrations in the later difficulty levels. The more you play, the more you unlock, and the rewards include even more over-the-top pieces like a loop-de-loop, fire rings to jump through, and half-piped sections of track. That's not all though. As you progress, you'll also unlock new cars, many of which are cheeky pop culture references or throwback tributes to classic supercars. In Makeway, it's not the car, but the driver that will determine the outcome of the race, as there are no specific stats applicable to cars, and their cosmetic choices only. Speaking of cosmetics, the graphics may have a low poly look to them, but you don't notice it as much as you chaotically try to navigate through haphazardly assembled racetracks at a consistently smooth frame rate. There's a lot going on in later difficulty levels, which slowly introduce hazards, power-ups, and no edges on your tracks. You can race against 3 other players, or if you can't organize your mates, there are adjustable AI bots that you can race against instead, which hold their own. I spent the majority of my playtime against bots, and I found them to be enjoyable and challenging to play against. Another great feature of the game is how winners are determined, awarding points for successful checkpoints by completing sections of the track, and then bonus points for finishing and winning races. The winner is determined by hitting the score threshold, which means if you have a balanced group of players, the race lasts longer, and more often than not, end in a sudden death round. There are a few offensive items that you can collect and use, and should you get knocked out, you spawn back in at the next checkpoint, forfeiting points for that particular section of track. There's a lot to unlock and a lot to keep you going due to the replayable nature of the game. The progression system is generous, awarding new items, obstacles, and sections with great pacing, and it's always fun when you get a unique part that you just unlocked to add to your course. The game does feature cross-platform online matchmaking, which I was unable to test during my playthrough, unfortunately, but local play with friends was an absolute blast. I only really encountered one downside to the game, which was when you are far ahead of the pack, the game just doesn't zoom out enough to show you what's ahead. I'm not sure if this is a feature intended to slow you down for balance, or just something that happened in the game engine. Likewise, if you fall behind on a curve, sometimes the game just writes you off until the next checkpoint. It's not really a deal breaker, but I did feel cheated out of a few wins here and there. For my vision impaired racers, there aren't any accessibility options, and there isn't a lot of contrast between courses or objects, so I encourage you to look further into whether this title may suit you. Makeway may not have initially been high on my list of games to review. It was by chance I stumbled upon the title, but I'm glad I did, as the time I had with the game has been so full of hectic action, lots of laughs, and really enjoyable. Sure, it may not be the best looking title on the Switch, but it works well to provide hours of chaotic fun. At the price point of $23 Australian, it's well worth the price of entry, especially if you have 4 Joy-Cons and a few mates to game with. It's been a huge year for enjoyable games, and if you are happy to add one more to the collection, you can't really go wrong with Makeway. So, what's it like? Makeway is like Micro Machines crossed with Mario Kart's battle mode. I award it an 82 out of 100. In the interest of full disclosure, I was provided a review copy of the game, but this in no way influences my opinion. Hey there, thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Now I can't thank you enough for your support. Things have moved a lot faster than I expected with What's It Like, and it's becoming my full-time job. Best way to continue supporting me if you liked my content is to keep watching What's It Like. It doesn't cost a cent and it will always be free. But if you would like to help in other ways, you can always buy me a coffee by visiting this link here, or if you would like to join my Patreon, I show behind the scenes insights into how a gaming website operates. I'm so grateful to be here making this content, and I'm even more grateful that you're here watching it with me. Thank you so much.